Listen, my people, from your homes and cars to the Midnight Podcast of Edward St. Charles. His musings are wild, his subjects are great, but he remains not one to underestimate. His nom de plume may be funky, but he likes to be known as Johnny Big Monkey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from his bunker, located high above sea level, somewhere in the suburbs of Denver, here's Edward St. Charles.
Perfection consists in doing the will of God, not in understanding his designs. This is from Abandonment to Divine Providence. My good souls, nothing is wanting to you. If you only knew what these events really are that you call misfortunes, accidents, and disappointments, and in which you can see nothing but what is irrelevant or unreasonable, you would lie deeply ashamed and excuse yourselves of your complainings as of blasphemies. But you never think of them as being the will of God, and his will is blasphemed by his own children who refuse to acknowledge it. Denver Radiance, the secondary website of Edward St. Charles. It dawned upon her one day that she was resisting the situation and seeing two powers instead of one. So she blessed the man and baptized the situation. Success, she affirmed, as there is only one power, God. This man is here for my good and my prosperity. Every person is a golden link in my chain of good, for all men are God in manifestation. Man is God made fearful. God is man-made fearless. Everything is absolutely perfect. The situation is developing exactly as the way God wants it to. He's ripening everything. He's in everything. The earth is a flower unfolding. The dreamer who is awake in the dream is something like the space among objects. That space is his consciousness, in which all objects and beings in the dream are arising. The enlightened individual, the one who lives in the way of transcendence, while this path of experience continues to arise, is awake in exactly that same sense. He understands that the present arising of phenomena is occurring in his own psyche, his ultimate psyche, or very being. This understanding radically transforms his position in the dream. He no longer suffers from identification with a separate entity within the dream. The play of arising is already happy and does not prevent his enjoyment of the ultimate bliss. Everything is allowed to arise and change and pass. Thus, the perfectly enlightened individual exists in perfect identity with a transcendental being while alive in the dream. He need not go elsewhere to find himself, but he presently plays the dream. He is awake and fully active in the dream, and he is happy in life, positive in relation to the events in the dream. Thus, your awakening is the one that is significant. In this dream, you see that I am always acting in such a way as to call attention to the fact that our experience is a dream. The world is only a modification of the radiant conscious being. I am always fulfilling the role of the transcendental person in relationship to you. This is my dream. I am the transcendental person. I am the primary person in my own dream. Even when awake, and when you awaken, you will awaken to and as the very same being that I am. How many people could possibly listen to a raw radio show by Edward St. Charles? So this has been Johnny Big Monkey coming to you.
You have been listening to the exclusive podcast of Edward St. Charles, A.K.A. Johnny Big Monkey, a weekly podcast by the noted author. Watch and wait, because the final completion of his masterwork, Quantum Don Irrational, the Biological Heretic, is just 90 days away.